20 years ago today, Hot Wheels Velocity X was released to the world. At least the PC version was. Later followed the PlayStation 2 and GameCube versions of the game. And it makes you think, are there any differences between these three versions of the game? And that is what I hope to tackle with this video. For most of the clips in this video, I will first show the PC version, then GameCube, and then PlayStation 2. The GameCube and PlayStation 2 clips are both from emulated versions of the game, whereas the PC clips are from the original game. This video does not claim to be a complete list of every single difference between the three versions of the game. However, it does cover some of the more substantial and important differences, while also covering many subtle differences. Also, voice commentary will be present through some parts of the video. First, let's take a look at the opening movies for the PC, GameCube, and PlayStation 2 versions. When it comes to multiplayer, only the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions of the game have multiplayer. In the GameCube version, you can play with up to 4 players, whereas in the PlayStation 2 version, you will see you can only play with up to 2 players. So this kinda is a major separator between the three games. PC version, strictly only single player, GameCube up to 4, and PlayStation 2 only up to 2. And of course, you'll see that there is sort of a different appearance to the menus. Now looking at the options menus of the three games, you'll notice that the PC version lacks the ability to change the sound mode between mono and stereo sound. The GameCube version does have this option. However, I personally have not found this option to actually change anything about the game. It almost seems like it's there to serve absolutely no purpose. I'm not too sure if the sound mode change does anything in the PlayStation 2 version. Now here's the differences between the loading screens. What is now being shown is a big difference in 3D geometry between the three versions of the game. You'll see that that alleyway was very tight right there, and you'll see that this alleyway is also extremely tight in the PC version of the game. Now, because of how tight that this alleyway is, it actually allows you to perform many glitches just by getting your car stuck between the wall and the warehouse. Here I managed to do a very unique glitch that is extremely rare, where your entire car except for the back is through the ground, which basically means you're stuck because the back part of your car is above ground, whereas the rest is below ground. Even the enemies can get stuck too. This alleyway is even more glitchy because it's even tighter than the last one. You'll see right here I managed to do a glitch where I got the back part stuck through the wall. It's actually extremely easy to clip out of bounds with this glitch. And here the game crashed. Here I actually managed to get up to a normally inaccessible platform in one of the warehouses. This was due to the fact that I was launched up into the air at a very lucky angle because of the glitch, and I actually managed to land up here. Now if we take a look at the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions of the game, you will see that this alleyway was made much wider. So clearly the developers ended up finding out about this between releases, and they patched this glitch out of the game. However, if you do use the Surf and School Bus, your car is still long enough to be able to cause some glitches with the length of the alleyway. Here we can see another glitch that was patched out of the game. This is in the Desert Race drag race. You can see that there is a little bit of room to fit your car between on both sides of the starting line. If you do it just right, you can clip out of bounds using this spot, and you can get lots of insane results. In this case, I hit the respawn plane at the bottom of the Turbine Sands world, and that spawns me in the Turbine City, which means I am now behind the starting line. And you can see that the geometry is not modeled behind the starting line, and I've made it through 2 barriers. So, clearly 2 barriers weren't enough. As you can see here, they patched this out in the console versions because they moved the starting line beams over to farther to the right and farther to the left. I will also use this moment to point out an obvious thing that is different between the versions of the game. The PlayStation 2 version clearly has a blue and silver UI as opposed to the gold UI, which the PC and GameCube version share. Now we can take a look at another glitch that was patched out of the game in the console versions. You can see there's these little slopes on the side of the wall that you can get your car onto. This can lead to some out-of-bounds glitches.
Never mind.
In the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions, they place small caution barriers on both sides to block you from getting to the little slope part of the wall. And they also added a couple barrels on each side, likely to make the caution barriers look more natural with the environment and not like they were just stuck there for no reason. You still can glitch out of bounds if you go extremely fast along the right wall, and you can still fly outside of the map, but they did patch this method of doing it. Now let's look at another glitch that was patched out. Back to Crankshaft Bay. You can see that these trees are fairly close to the wall, and you can clip your car out of bounds by getting it between the base of the trees and the wall. In the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions, they heavily increased the distance of the trees from the wall, so this is no longer possible. As you can see, there is plenty of room now. Now let's take a look at something else present in Crankshaft Bay that was removed in the console versions. This specific bulldozer right here. It fits in well for aesthetic purposes, but you'll notice that it does cause issues because you can get your car stuck behind the bulldozer in the wall, and you can cause some various glitches to happen. Here's a clip where I managed to get an enemy stuck, and I actually launched them out of bounds because they had an energy shield, so they didn't take damage, and I had a quantum annihilator which has a huge knockback effect. So I managed to get the enemy to fall infinitely out of bounds. Now here with the GameCube version, you will see that the bulldozer is no longer here. I'm assuming that the developers noticed that there was that glitch present with the bulldozer in the wall, so they just decided the easiest route was to just remove it completely. On the Drag Race Ghost Town Race in the PC version, you can easily just turn around at this mountain right here, climb up the mountain, and just like that, you're out of bounds. They completely forgot to block that off. Yeah, they just didn't think about it at all, and you can just drive out of bounds extremely easily. However, in the GameCube and PlayStation 2 versions, they noticed this and they tried to block it with a caution barrier, but you can still get past it if you do a skillful maneuver there. So their attempt at blocking off this glitch was a failure, basically. Now another glitch that was patched out, this is in the downtown race. You'll notice there's some distance there between the corner of the wall and the caution barrier. Here they move the caution barrier farther forward so you can no longer glitch out of bounds with it in both console versions. And you'll notice that in the PC version you can go all the way back here to this smaller caution barrier, which I believe you can use to get out of bounds if you glitch properly into the wall with it. However, in the console versions they added a second barrier. Now this could be because they knew about the glitch and they just wanted another layer of security, or it's for aesthetic purposes to have the player know where to go in terms of the race, maybe. Back to Crankshaft Bay, here is a extremely minor visual bug that was actually added in the console versions. Here you can see in the PC version the floor is completely flush with the wall. There's no issues. Now when we go to the console versions, you will see that there is now a the wall and the floor are no longer completely flush with each other, and you can actually see the water below. Personally, I have no idea what could have caused this visual bug, but it's in both console versions for whatever reason. Now here's another minor visual bug. In the PC version you can see there's no issues with any holes appearing with the wall or anything like that. Everything is completely solid, all the textures are fine. However, in the GameCube version you will notice that there's an opening above the gate. Depending on your camera angle, how close you are to it, etc. So yeah, this is a pretty weird visual bug. Not really sure what would cause this to happen. You can see sometimes above the area above the gate just completely disappears. However, this might make you think that maybe it's actually disappearing and you can get through it, but this is not the case. It is still solid. It's just an issue of the texture or physical model disappearing while the collision data is still there. This glitch is exclusive to the GameCube version. Now we can take a look at a visual glitch that is exclusive to the PlayStation 2 version. You'll see the ceiling, the white sort of lines along the ceiling, those are replaced with filler font text in the PlayStation 2 version, so clearly the texture was placed incorrectly or something went wrong there. Now we'll take a look at multiple differences between the drag races. You'll notice that there's a checkered flag that was missing on the starting line in the PC version. So yeah, they forgot to add that. And you'll notice there's also these invisible objects in the PC version. They are completely invisible until you run into them, at which point they will fall apart as usual. In the GameCube version, you'll see there's still a checkered flag missing on the starting line. However, it appears that they fixed the invisible objects glitch in the downtown drag race here. The PlayStation 2 version fixes everything by having both checkered flags present on the starting line for once, and all the objects are present. Now, there is a minor bug present in the console versions. You'll notice if your car is in the air in the PC version when someone finishes a race, everything happens as usual. The camera locks on to the person who won the race. However, if your car is in the air in the GameCube version, when someone finishes a race, then the camera will actually stay on your car, and it will not rotate or anything. This minor bug is also present in the PlayStation 2 version. If you're in the air, then the camera just stays on you. You'll also notice that in the PC version, if you are holding a direction after finishing a race, your car will not react to that input. However, in the GameCube version, your car will react to that input and will continue to try to stunt. And also, your car, if it is upside down after finishing a race or a mission, it will flip itself right side up automatically. And this also happens in the PlayStation 2 version. You can see a stunt is automatically performed despite being unable to input anything on that screen. Here you'll notice the health bar above the rock in Mission 5 is set to 0 health in the PC and GameCube versions. However, in the PlayStation 2 version, it had a filled health bar, despite having probably the same amount of health. Now, this is an area of crankshaft docks. You'll notice that there is nothing in that area right there. It's just completely barren. However, in the console versions, you'll notice that they put a caution barrier here and then a random truck here. And this isn't because they're patching out a glitch, because I've been unable to find any glitch in that specific spot. So I honestly have no idea why they added this. It seems like a really strange thing to add, and I don't think it's present in the battle maps, so it doesn't affect the battle arena. It's just kind of a weird, pointless addition there. I guess for minor aesthetic purposes. Now, in the PC version, you'll see that there's these platforms that are attached to the sides of both walls on both sides of the bridge that you can drive on. So right there, I was just driving on top of it. It definitely adds a little bit to this area of the map in terms of gameplay. you can see if you go off the ramp, you can land on the upper area instead of down on the road below. So it's just kind of a little niche piece of geometry there that you can mess around with. However, in the console versions, these platforms were completely removed. They're not there, and yeah, they were on both sides of the road, on both sides of the bridge, but now they're all completely gone. I'm unsure as to why they did this. Maybe they felt that it was interfering with your ability to land on the road, like it was just an annoyance or something. But yeah, clearly you can see that they just removed these platforms for some reason. Now continuing with some more sped up footage. In the map Combustion Caldera, there are many objects that are just placed in completely different places in comparison between the PC and console versions. I've just sped up the footage and drove around the map in all versions of the game just for documentation purposes. I'm not going to point out all the differences, but right off the bat, there's a big difference in the locations of the big THQ crates on this map. Not really sure why they did this. I really couldn't tell you, but maybe they just felt the need to change the locations because they weren't happy with how they were set up originally. Now here's a weird one. In the PC version of the game, in the Joyride mode on Burnout Glacier, you'll see that there is no gadget here. There is nothing spawned right there. However, for some reason, in the console versions, they decided to add an Atom Blaster here. I have no idea why they decided to do this. Another difference I'll point out right now is that the outlines of gadgets in the PC version are white, in the GameCube version they're yellow, and the PlayStation 2 version they're blue. In the PC version, gadgets on top of Shadowjet are off-centered in relation to the car. However, this was patched in the console versions where now the gadgets are centered on top of the car, and the off-center jet boosters actually allowed Shadowjet to go faster with the boost exploit with jet boosters in the PC version for some reason. You'll notice in the PC version, in the Combustion Caldera battle map, your health is immediately set to 0 upon falling into the lava. However, this was changed in the console version, so you no longer lose any health upon falling into the lava. Personally, I was kind of a fan of the PC version's way of doing it because I thought it was an interesting mechanic that if you fall into the lava, you are basically a one-shot kill. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video of all of the differences between versions that I was able to personally find. And I guess if I could find enough differences, maybe there could be a sequel made in the future. But this is pretty much everything that I could possibly think of. If there's anything you know I missed, be sure to leave a comment about it. As always, thank you all for the support, thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and happy 20th anniversary to Hot Wheels Velocity X, and I will see you next time.